Hi guys, Harry here and welcome to my breakdown of Doctor Who Redacted Episode 10, the finale, Salvation, which everything I thought I knew about Doctor Who, I was wrong. There were so many theories that I thought and they all turned out to be wrong, but this episode is just so amazing. But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get into the video. So, Salvation starts with the girls discussing who they think is in the blue box. This is probably sometime even before episode 1, SOS, and they're discussing who they think is in the blue box, and they all have their own take on who they think is in the blue box, of course fitting their personalities to them. Shauna, of course, thinks it's a conspiracy theory, that is the government or someone monitoring them. Of course, as she's been into conspiracies a lot, she's the conspiracy person in their group. And Cleo thinks it's someone watching over them, someone protecting them, someone looking out for them. And this links to the end of the podcast, right at the end of this episode. And it is, of course, explaining is the Doctor. And she is right at the same time, but she is also wrong as well. We then pick up where Rescue left off, with Cleo saying, "I'm gone," and she questions if she's dead, but then we get the floater appearing, of course still played by Alistair Bennet King, and he says that Cleo isn't redacted, but she is the only one left. Everyone else has gone. And of course, then this is reinforced when Cleo sees Abby, Shauna and Vastra, and they are all ghosts. However, then Floater says that this is dangerous for Cleo, as Cleo reeks of hope for the ghosts. And this is an interesting comparison, because normally hope is something really good that people cling to, that is a really good sign of something maybe good happening. However, reek is a smell that is like bad and like dirty, something like that. So it is an interesting comparison of hope being so dangerous that it could kill a person, this time being Cleo. And also the ghosts killing her, obviously touching her by just touching her, is foreshadowing how Cleo is going to save humanity, and not just humanity but all the other alien races on the planets that have been affected by this redactedness, on how they are going to save humanity and all the other alien races. Floater then tells Cleo to run, and also calls Cleo a child, maybe referencing when Cleo stopped herself from being redacted, how she stopped herself from being redacted. And as she runs, we get the song Heartstopper by Stuart Hendel and Vince Welsh, which we have heard in previous episodes, and of course is just like a high octane song which we have heard before. Again, amazing sound design by the Doctor Who Redacted crew. Cleo then gets out of the sewers and returns to above ground. However, there is no one there, and Cleo comes out by the van that had the machine on, like a siren that attracted the ghosts, which unit used last episode to save Cleo and Shauna from the ghosts in Rescue. And Cleo is obviously, I need to use this, and fortunately the keys are still in the ignition, so she can turn off the machine, and she can drive the van that the siren machine was on to a different place to lure the ghost there. However, Cleo underestimates herself, as she thinks that the others there would do better, as she thinks Abby would do something heroic and Shauna would do something that everyone else would be too scared to do, but something else that would pay off immensely. However, she thinks that she would just run. However, she then realises that she is the only one in the whole entire world. Maybe this is a reference to the Sarah Jane Adventures, where Rani and Clyde, before they joined together, thought they were the only ones on the planet. However, Cleo's running away also has a different meaning, as she has been running and hiding from her trauma for all these years, and only when she remembers her trauma again and the memory resurfaces can she save the world. Cleo realises again that she might be the only person left, at least countrywide, and she returns to the Powell estate and turns on the siren to attract the ghost there, so hopefully they won't find her, of course. And Cleo again runs to a different area of the Powell estate, and we hear hope. We hear the TARDIS. And the 13th Doctor steps from her TARDIS, and we hear her first line saying, "Powell estate, we meet again. It's been a long time." And of course, it has been a long time. This is a reference to the 13th, to the Doctor's time as the 9th and 10th Doctor, when Rose was, of course, the companion, their travelling companion. And it's just so great to see the Doctor still have nice times connected with the Powell estate, even though it tore her hearts apart when Rose obviously got pulled into the alternate universe. However, there is something not so rosy about the Powell estate, as Cleo threatens the Doctor with a bat that Cleo said her mum used to be kept, which Cleo's mum used to keep by her bed in case of burglars, which means that the Powell estate things weren't always as good or as rosy as they were in series 1 and 2, which shows that the Powell estate is not really a great place to, as of course, well, there's burglars and criminals all about, but we didn't really see any of that in series 1 and 2, so it's just a good idea of normal world building. Cleo then confronts the Doctor with, "Whenever you rock up somewhere, you leave a bunch of dead bodies," which the Doctor has been confronted with many different times. Actually, the 9th Doctor was confronted in the Powell estate by Mickey Smith, saying, whenever you look up the Doctor's name, you find his name, followed by a list of the dead. So the Doctor, yeah, as I said before, looks out for people, but also just one thing goes wrong, you could die, as the Doctor is just trying to save the day. Your life is just a bit insignificant to the Doctor, unfortunately. And of course, the reason Cleo is threatening the Doctor with a baseball bat is because she wants to kill the Doctor, because as Madame Vastra and the Floater said, killing the Doctor would stop this redactedness from happening and everything would go back to normal. However, we hear a couple of lines from the Doctor which diffuses the situation and brings good insight into the Doctor's mind, as she says to Cleo, "I thought you of all people might be different, but no, reach for a weapon and end everything in bloodshed. Such a letdown. Never meet your heroes," which proves that the Doctor admires Cleo. Maybe this is, of course, the reference to the Doctor's favourite species being humans, as the Doctor does mention in a couple of lines later on. Maybe this is because a reference to the Doctor when he was trying to comfort the two people getting married in Father's Day, when they said that they're probably insignificant to him, but he says no.
I don't know what this is all about, and I know we're not important.
Who said you're not important? I've travelled to all sorts of places, done things you couldn't even imagine, but you two. Street corner, 2 a.m, getting a taxi home. I've never had a life like that. Yes, I'll try and save you.
Or maybe this is a reference to the 11th Doctor saying to Clara that humans are the only mystery worth solving.
Is nobody out there somewhere? In the ground?
Yes, I suppose it is.
But here we are, talking. So I am a ghost. To you, I'm a ghost. We're all ghosts to you. We must be nothing.
No. You're not that.
Then what are we? What can we possibly be?
You are the only mystery worth solving.
And of course, the Doctor has mentioned many other times in his different incarnations that human beings are his favourite race. However, the Doctor does say to Cleo, if you clobber me, I'd only get back up again, possibly several times. Who can say? Of course, referencing regeneration, but the Doctor also says, who can say? And the Doctor should know that she should reach number 23 before she runs out of regenerations again and has to have a new regeneration cycle or die. But maybe this is because of the Timeless Child revelation, that it was revealed that she was the Timeless Child, maybe, and maybe she's a bit unsure now. Or maybe this is reference to what Time said to her in The Vanquishers, which was the final episode of The Flux, where Time said no regeneration, which was also repeated in the trailer footage for the 13th Doctor's final adventure. So maybe it will seem like the Doctor can't regenerate, and then of course it manufactures that thing. But of course we know that the Doctor can regenerate with David Tennant filming scenes for the 60th anniversary, and of course Ncuti Gatwa being revealed as the 14th Doctor. However, Cleo and the Doctor finally calm down, and Cleo leads the Doctor back to her mum's flat in the Powell estate. And as they go on to Cleo's mum's flat, they pass the siren, which the Doctor reveals to be a trans-dimensional beacon, confirming what the floater said about people being stuck, about people appearing as ghosts because they are stuck in the psychic realm. However, the Doctor gives no reaction to Unit when Cleo mentions that Unit was the one that put it there. And again, this is weird, because the Doctor gives no reaction to Unit. However, there have been reactions that she does, like that she gives to other people, so it's a bit weird that she doesn't react to Unit. And it's one of the things that I will mention later that is still kind of unsolved about Doctor Who Redacted. However, Cleo and the Doctor go to Cleo's mum's flat, and Cleo gets the Doctor to explain what happened. She says her and her friends, I presume this is Yaz and Dan, took a trip to the unmarked Perleus because she heard there was life there, and there was the most extraordinary singing sunsets. Now, I think there are a lot of references here. Maybe this is a reference to the Husbands of River Song, because the 12th Doctor and River Song had a date on Beryllium in front of the Singing Towers, so maybe a similar thing to the Singing Sunsets. And I think this is also a reference to the 10th planet, and other times the Doctor has just wanted to investigate a planet just because. Because, especially in the 10th planet, the Doctor wanted to investigate this alien city because there was a Dalek homeworld, and because they went into the Dalek city, the Daleks realised there were other worlds and other races in the galaxy, in the universe, and they wanted to kill these races. And the Doctor didn't stop to think who this might affect by going into the city, and that is exactly what the 13th Doctor has done by going to this planet, where she knew nothing about, only that there was new life. And the Doctor again confirms that this is a psychic virus, confirming what the floater has says, and explains why people just remembering the Doctor got them redacted, and that they've gone into the psychic realm because it is a psychic virus. And the Doctor says that she has faced monsters, maybe reference to the Daleks or the Sontarans or the Cybermen. Madman, maybe a reference to the Master. Tyrants, maybe a reference to Rassilon. And robots, maybe a reference to the Clockwork robots. All monsters, aliens that the Doctor has faced before, and that she says that she has faced monsters, madmen, tyrants and robots before. But she can't do anything against this virus, and that just shows how monumental this virus is. There has only been a few instances of where the Doctor hasn't really stopped the enemy, and that is just like ones that she can never defeat, which this virus is kind of that of what this is. And it also shows how dangerous the Doctor can really be, showing how many lives the Doctor has touched. There is so much of the universe that the Doctor has left her imprint on, and this could be a reference to The Last of the Time Lords, where Martha told the whole world to remember the Doctor, and every single person could remember the Doctor, which means that Cleo could be the last person on this planet, like, at all. The Doctor, however, does reveal that she has been trying to contact them, as we saw in episode 1, SOS, but she also reveals that she's been trying to contact not just Cleo, but Abby and Shauna as well, revealing that she was the one to send the letter about the Doctor in episode Hysteria, I think. And the Doctor reveals that Earth is probably the worst affected planet, as the Doctor's most visited planet is planet Earth, because the humans are her favourite species. Cleo also says that her and Rani were the only ones that could remember the Doctor, but I mean, that's kind of false, because Madame Vastra, as well as the Floater, could remember the Doctor and were telling her to kill the Doctor because she was the one that caused this. And also, I thought Larry Nightingale could remember the Doctor too, but I might be wrong, or this might be, because it was pre-recorded. So, I don't know, and of course everyone else could remember the Doctor, that's why they got redacted. But yeah, I know, remember the Doctor just to say to each other. So, but I don't think that's 100% true, because I'm pretty sure Madame Vastra and the Floater, I'm 100% sure they could remember the Doctor. The Doctor then says that she wants to psychic link into Cleo's mind to see why Cleo hasn't been affected. And we've seen the Doctor psychic link in at least New Who before, and I think this was first seen in The Girl in the Fireplace, but Cleo doesn't want to let the Doctor in. As Cleo says, quote, "Babe, you don't want to go through my mind, trust me," making it sound like this is more for the Doctor's benefit rather than Cleo's benefit, which makes it sound like, well, that Cleo's been through so much that she doesn't even want to put the Doctor through that, which shows that how much pain that she goes through in just everyday life. So the Doctor makes her a compromise, and the Doctor says, "Look through my mind. Maybe you'll find a familiar face." And this creates parallels like that between Cleo and the Doctor, as Cleo picks up on that she didn't always look like this either, as the Doctor said that she's, of course, had many different faces before. The Doctor, of course, then shows Cleo's her past faces, which Cleo says, "These are all you," to which the Doctor replies, "and then some." Maybe a reference in the fact that she doesn't know how many past lives she's felt, how many past lives she's had before. Of course, this is a reference to the Timeless Child, and of course, it was confirmed in the Timeless Child that, of course, she's had ones before, but we saw before with, in the Tom Baker arc, that those faces are canon now, and maybe there's unseen ones before, like the War Doctor. Like, are there other Doctors that the Doctor knows but has just hidden from his memory? A bit like Cleo's trauma in this episode, protecting her. However, Cleo does see a familiar face, and the Doctor we hear is unmistakably the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. But he's not credited in this at the bottom, which means that this is probably archive footage. And it is a bit sad that is the 10th Doctor, as the 10th Doctor is the one that overshadows the 13th Doctor the most, and now it is being revealed that the Doctor that Cleo encountered was the 10th Doctor, probably the most popular Doctor in people's minds, and this was basically an all-female cast before, and now, instead of the most important Doctor being the 13th Doctor, it seems like it is the 10th Doctor, and I think that is just sad, but a bit of that ran over. The Doctor then mentions Rose, and Jodie Whittaker does a great job in conveying the emotion across just in the voice, that she really cares and cared and misses Rose. And it's just so sad to see her, because you can see that Rose is still breaking her hearts apart, and I think Jodie does a really great job of conveying this across. It is all then revealed that Rose used to be a babysitter to Cleo and Jordan, and of course, until Cleo says until she did a runner, of course referencing her travelling in time and space with the 9th and 10th Doctor, eventually being trapped in the alternate universe, never being able to come back to this universe, and obviously reconnect with all the people she met there. However, there is an event in Cleo's memory that has been blocked off, and the Doctor asks, Cleo, you need to remember this event, and this is the one that is stopping us from seeing why you have not been redacted yet. So Cleo trusts the Doctor and opens up, and what we see is that Cleo was out having a day out with her dad, and they saw this red egg in the park, and then it started to hatch. And what happened was the red hatching, which is what was happening directly at the end of Blink. And it is exactly the same language that is used in Blink and in Salvation. Red hatching and the migration are languages, are the words that are used in both Blink and in this episode. And also, not just that, but the 10th Doctor and Martha were going to stop the red hatching at the end of Blink. And the Doctor was carrying a bow and Martha carrying arrows. And you can hear in the memory that is being unlocked, you can hear the sound of an arrow being fired as Cleo is remembering this. And this is what happened. Cleo's dad died trying to protect her. He died trying to protect her from the red hatching as it tried to attack him, and the Doctor didn't get there in time to save him, only just in time to save Cleo. And this is the Doctor being too late. And I can't help but find the parallels between this and Love and Monsters, where Alton, his home got attacked by an alien too, and his mother died because the 10th Doctor was too late. And he blocked out the memory of that day, exactly as Cleo blocked out the memory of her dad dying. Alton blocked out the memory of that was the day his mother died. And even the way 13 apologises to Cleo about not being able to save her dad is extremely similar to the way the 10th Doctor apologises to Alton about not being able to save his mum. And this is so sad, and it just draws the parallels that this is definitely the 10th Doctor more and more, and unfortunately the 10th Doctor appearing in more media, draining out the 13th Doctor even more. That is Doctor Who setting themselves up for failure. And Cleo was so traumatised by that event that she blocked it out so effectively that she hid from even from herself what had happened, and that made her immune to the virus, that she blocked out the Doctor so effectively that she was impervious to being redacted. And it's just so amazing what the human mind can do, because survival instinct is the highest instinct that humans have. Cleo then finally gets a look at the TARDIS, what they have been making the podcast about, and what she thinks about the TARDIS is pretty cool. But of course we'll get a deeper dive into the TARDIS later in this video. The Doctor brings a delta wave augmenter to talk to the ghost, and this is probably a reference to the 9th Doctor building a delta wave to defeat the Daleks in the Parting of the Ways. The Doctor then plans to broadcast her voice, telling the ghost to remember her, hoping this will override the virus and pull them back into reality. However, the ghosts start pulling her apart, trying to use her as a portal back to reality, but probably killing the Doctor in the process. The Doctor tells Cleo to make them remember, so Cleo tries to, as she plays a recording of one of their podcasts, where, of course, Shauna, Abby and Cleo, probably again before SOS, and I hear Shauna mention Harriet Jones. Of course, Harriet Jones is a reference to the woman of the 9th Doctor and Rose defeat the Slovene in Aliens of London and World War III, later becoming Prime Minister and, of course, starting Britain's Golden Age, but later being overthrown by the Doctor and being an ended to her not being re-elected in the Christmas invasion. And also this then sets her up dying, trying to bring the Doctor back to Earth, being killed by the Daleks, try to get the Doctor back to Earth to save the world in the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. However, Cleo playing the recording doesn't help, and she gets redacted too, and she ends up in an alternate dead Paula state, where she comes into contact first with her mother, and Cleo's mum, Monica, says that her brother Jordan is also there, but we don't see him, as apparently he's not doing well, probably because he's been there the most. He's been there for a while, and the floater said that people cannot exist long in the psychic realm, which is where they are trapped. Cleo and her mum then reconcile, with Cleo and her mum apologising to each other. However, Cleo's mum, Monica, says that Cleo doesn't need to apologise about anything, and she is so proud of where Cleo is now. And even just past being proud, she is so proud that Cleo is a girl, and she really says that she is just like her mother, showing how much of a woman she really is. And then we see Abby and Shauna show up, and Cleo explains to them that it is a psychic virus, and realises that this dead Paula state that they think they're in is not. It's not real. It's just in their heads. Maybe, again, this will be a thing in the 60th anniversary. One of my theories can hopefully be true, that maybe this is all a dream. It's not real. But what is 100% not real is the dead Paula state, which Cleo realises is just like the Doctor's psychic paper that the Doctor showed to her earlier. And also, we of course get loads of instances of the Doctor using her sonic screwdriver. So we see the psychic paper and the sonic screwdriver, but the psychic paper factors into a plot point loads, as it is the catalyst to reveal to Cleo that this is not real. Shauna, Abby and Monica think that they're all going to freeze to death, but Cleo knows it's not real, bringing up the episode they did about hysteria, which was episode 2, Hysteria, which was the first time that we saw Martha Jones feature in Doctor Who in Smith and Jones, as of course that was about the Royal Hope Hospital. And Cleo then focuses on the recording that was left in the real world, as she can hear it broadcasting into the psychic realm, as they are exactly where they are, they just think that they're in a different Paula state. Cleo then broadcasts the recording to the psychic realm and tells the others to focus on it so that they can get home. And then Cleo returns to reality, explaining to the Doctor that what has happened, and the Doctor says that yes, everyone else must be in a psychic coma. Of course, so where they are, but they think that they're somewhere else. And she decides to broadcast the whole recording to the psychic realm, broadcasting it so they can all hear it, which frees Abby, Shauna, Jordan and Monica. Cleo, Abby and Shauna, of course, is their recording, and so then that gives the Doctor an idea to tell them to record a message telling everyone to wake up, which will broadcast to every planet that the Doctor has been on and every planet that is affected, and hopefully wake everyone up from their psychic comas. Then Abby and Shauna get to see the TARDIS, and Abby states that it is bigger on the inside, which basically every Doctor Who new companion says when they see the TARDIS, which the Doctor likes that people say about that. Abby, however, wants to talk about the Doctor and the TARDIS on the podcast. However, the Doctor convinces her not to. Maybe saying to stop something like this from happening again, or at least slow it down. Maybe a reference to Oswin deleting the Doctor from files on like the whole thing in Asylum of the Daleks, which the 11th Doctor wanted to happen because he thought he got too big and too noisy, leading to a lot of people getting hurt, which didn't need to. Cleo then says that she wants to go with the Doctor, but the Doctor says she needs to check on her friends first, and she can't put Cleo in danger. However, her friends aren't Yaz and Dan, so I don't know where they are in this. But she reveals her friends are the ones protecting the planet while she's away. So this is, of course, Unit and Torchwood. I don't know where Torchwood was in this. I mean, not even... And Eve Miles, who plays Gwen, showed up in this, so I don't know where Torchwood was. And, of course, Rani, Luke and Clyde, who were obviously saving the world with Sarah Jane Smith until, unfortunately, Elizabeth Sladen's untimely passing. And, of course, all the other Doctors, past companions. That we will see a couple return of Tegan and Ace in the Doctor Who, in the next Doctor Who special, when Jodie Whittaker regenerates. So it will be cool to see them return as well, and maybe the Doctor is going to see them here. Maybe again, like a reference to the 10th Doctor did just before he regenerated, as he went to see all his past companions. However, this puts a real dampener on the celebrations that everyone is coming back, with Cleo saying that she wanted to leave with the Doctor, as Abby and Shauna really want her to stay, revealing that Cleo had a family all along, and although she didn't think about that with her mum, not love, like her mum kicking her out at 16 and her dad being gone, and of course Jordan eventually being redacted, she thought she had no one, but she had a family with her all along. Again, it's not just the family you're born into, it's also the family you choose. And the Doctor tells Cleo that she can't outrun her past, as the Doctor knows this more than anyone. Again, maybe this is a reference to the Timeless Child. Hopefully this will be resolved in, again, the upcoming special. And we get music leading into Cleo, Monica and Jordan all having a family meal together, which Monica apologises again to Cleo, saying that there wasn't anything about trans people when Cleo was young, so she didn't know what to do. But now there's a lot about trans people, and people are a lot more well informed. So I think this is great, as so much has been solved about people's rights in just 20, 30 years. So it is amazing to see where we are from 20, 30 years ago to where we are now. And I can't wait to see where we are in the next 20 to 30 years. We then get the song Handlebars by Figure and Groove, leading into Shauna saying goodbye to Abby. Maybe the meaning behind Handlebars was about family, rather than just having a song between Abby and Shauna, rather than a romantic song. It was about a song about family. Cleo, again, has a family, as well as Shauna and Abby, and it just shows that it's not about the family being chosen. However, they have mostly, again, as the Doctor said, forgotten about the redactedness. And I think this is a reference to In the Forest of the Night, the 12th Doctor story, where trees appeared to save the Earth, and then people forgot about them once the trees had saved the Earth, and it has been revealed that this has happened before in human history, turning them into legends and nursery rhymes and stories. So maybe this will be a thing that will be brought up again in Doctor Who stories later, about the day that the Earth got redacted, but it just being a legend. Abby then reveals that she's left Unit, as she reveals that Unit just wanted to cover up the truth, but Abby wants to reveal the truth, just like the Doctor said to do. She also reveals that she broke up with Craig, and this is as Shauna makes up an excuse to kiss Abby, which of course Abby sees right through, saying that Shauna never came up with an excuse before to kiss her or to dump Craig, but she asks Shauna, where's this kiss then? So they get their kiss, and I couldn't be more proud for them. We then get into the intro for the newest podcast of the Blue Box Files, and this is a contrast to the opening for the Blue Box Files in episode 1, SOS, where in this episode, Salvation is a much more happy and upbeat intro, rather than trying to create a spooky intro as they did in SOS, showing how much the podcast has changed and how much these have gone through, making that they have really come to think they haven't taken what they have now for life for gratitude, they have so much gratitude for what they have in life now, and they're not taking any of it for advantage. They're just so happy with where they are now in life. as a lot of things have happened to them. And because a lot of things have happened to them, at least some time has passed, as Abby reveals in the podcast that she is writing a book called Thinking Outside the Box. Of course, Abby revealing everything about the truth and telling people to speak to power and speak the truth. And Cleo reveals that she is going to stage school to live her dream of becoming an actress. So it's just so great to see where they are now, and it is kind of hinted that Abby and Shauna are kind of in a relationship. And in this new episode of the podcast they're going over the theory that there is someone out there looking for them. Of course, referencing the Doctor. And it also is referencing Cleo's thoughts at the start of this episode, where she thought that the person in the blue box was someone looking out for them, which Cleo echoes in this, saying that there is someone looking out for you, someone in a blue box. And Cleo closes out this episode echoing the Doctor's words, that sometimes a little faith goes a long way. Again, maybe referencing the fact that in the God complex everyone has a faith. And it's not whether you just believe in the Doctor, but there is always something to comfort you. Something that when you think there is no light there is always a light. There is always a way out. There is always something that will pick you back up. You just have to keep going. And I think it is a lovely sentiment. We then get the end title sound, and we get a kind of post-credit scene where Cleo and Jordan are in Jordan's flats, and there is an Amazon parcel for Cleo. And the Amazon parcel is revealed to be from Madame Vastra, and Jordan says, is this a drag queen? And Cleo says, yeah, if you saw her makeup, it would make you gag. Which, Cleo, we've been through this before. You should know how it feels being a trans person. You should be kind. But anyway, the package is revealed to be the floater. So Madame Vastra has given them the floater to help them fight the power and speak the truth. And I think this is amazing, as this could set up Doctor Who Redacted or Cleo, Abby and Shauna returning in the Doctor Who TV show. And I think it is a great episode. I think Doctor Who Redacted was a great spin-off, and I can't wait to see maybe a Doctor Who Redacted 2, a second series. I think it would be great. And also, it was just amazing. And I've got videos coming out on whether what I thought about Doctor Who Redacted as a whole, and I also will have a video coming out like next week or the week after about Doctor Who Redacted. How does it compare to the other spin-offs? However, there are just some questions which I will just run through now, and I will go through in the other episodes. Like, where is Madame Vastra now? She's lived from the Victorian times, and she's through to the present day. And also, where was UNIT? Why is UNIT up and running? It was revealed to have been disbanded in Resolution in 2019, and we got a bigger deep dive into that in the Flux. So is it still up and running? And where was Torchwood in this? Is Torchwood disbanded? And also, are Rani, Luke and Clyde continuing Sarah Jane's work, as well as our other companions fighting aliens? But I will go through that in a next video on Doctor Who Redacted as a series. I hope you like this video. I hope you liked the Doctor Who Redacted series. Let me know down in the comments below if you did like this. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe and share it out. And I will see you in the next one.